Hey guys, welcome back to another Lore Olympus discussion. I am Dazzling Kate, and welcome back to my channel for those who are new here and old here. Okay, so let's talk about Lore Olympus and what's happened recently. Now, if you remember correctly, Persephone has just been asked by Hades to marry him, and she said yes, and now they're doing their wedding shopping, and holy banana bread, guys, it doesn't get any better. It doesn't get any better. It really doesn't. Now, I read it so you guys don't have to touch it, because it wasn't even worth it. It wasn't worth it. It was not worth it. Ah. So, the after each and every attempt at buying something from Mount Olympus, they haven't. Okay, so this word is hard to. It's very hard to say. So okay, so Axina is a law custom of offering protection and hospitality to strangers. Its opposite. Okay, the law custom was felt to be fundamental to human civilized life. That its patron was Zeus, Exynos, Zeus the god who protects strangers. What? I, I mean, I guess it is there. I don't know. It's really ridiculous. Just so the law of offering protection and hospitality to strangers. So why is it that, Demeter does all this bullshit like, oh, I trapped Hades in a jar, and I also made my daughter feel uncomfortable surrounded by people. So that's not really hospitality. Hospitality is, offering protection and comfort and, basically things that make you feel comfortable. How is putting toy Hades in a jar and making your daughter uncomfortable hospitality? I don't get this. I do not understand this. And I'm I don't. I really don't. Can anyone explain to me how what Demeter did was that necessarily? Because if hearing the full story, and even then hearing the full story, it's like basically it's like described, oh, but didn't you cause a ruckus in her home and then propose to her daughter without asking her permission first? So it's like they could have just not done that to begin with. Like, I get it, it's the heat of the moment kind of thing. Why would you do that there and then? Just save it for later. Like, what the fuck? And then Persephone says, so if you're saying if Hades had proposed to me at home, it would have been peachy keen. And like Zeus is like, see, she gets it. It's ridiculous. Okay, so it would have been extremely good to have, because then Demeter wouldn't have an effect on it. But yeah, Demeter isn't allowing the two to get engaged, and it doesn't fucking make sense to me. Because, okay, lady, you fucking put her boyfriend in a jar, and now you're saying, oh no, no, I can't let them marry because of, like, I did all these terrible things in front of other. How's that hospitality? How? How the fuck is it hospitality? And it's kind of fucking hilarious, you know? Because Hestia was there. Hestia, the goddess of the home, the family, the state, the right ordering of domesticacy. I don't. She's the hearth, home, and hospitality. She should know. Hastia should know because she was fucking there. So, if anything, shouldn't this be in terms of Hastia's? I'm trying to understand this. I really am. I really am, because in order to have a hospital home to, welcome people and make them comfortable, shouldn't you also be putting into consideration Hastia's opinion on this? And if she says, yeah, that's not really welcoming or hospitality, like, so yeah, I say I overrule that statement there and they can get married because it doesn't work in my terms of how it goes. So it's really fucking ridiculous. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. It's just, why is this even a thing? Why? I'm trying my best to understand that. We already have not Hades, Zeus and Hastia, who are two powerful element, like, beings in that specific area. Zeus providing protection, and Hastia offering hearth, home, and hospitality. So, where does Demeter get off of using those two things that they offer? I mean, Demeter doesn't really do much of anything other than using, her, like, plants and food stock of plants to her advantage. If anything, wouldn't Demeter do something like, hey, yeah, if this goes through, then prepare for, all these humans dying and we don't get any offerings anymore, okay? Be prepared for that, because that's what I'm gonna do. That would make more sense. Why involve something like Xena into the like situation? Because it doesn't make sense. If Hastia noticed that this is inappropriate, she was there, she's also the goddess of home and hospitality, so I don't get why Demeter can get away with that. So did Demeter use, hey, yeah, if you do this, all people die, you won't get any more offerings, because if you do, I'm not going to go out without a fight? So that would make sense. Using Xena after you put someone in a jar and, make your daughter feel like shit in front of everybody she knows. That's not hospitality. That's not that at all. It's like, what the fuck? What the fuck? I'm sorry for being really annoyed. I'm sorry for acting very short-tempered right now. I'm trying to understand this. So if anyone who knows, Greek mythology better than me, please explain to me in the comments, how does this make sense? How the hell does this make sense? Because you have two factors, Zeus and Hastia, who can overrule that, like, lining right there that Demeter put in. So it doesn't make much sense to have her say that. And it's just, it's ridiculous. I'm sorry. I don't understand what people think works for writing. Because if I was writing this scenes, like this entire like situation, I would make it so Hastia and Zeus overruled that, but then Demeter used the humans are gonna die if you don't listen to what I say, so you got to make it according to that. So that's what I would have done if I had to write this scene to make sense, because this doesn't add up. You have Zeus and Hastia who are, who can overrule that, rule right there, because they're, they are those entities to do so. And if it doesn't go by their books, then Demeter's like Xena situation is overruled by those two factors. Again, this is just coming from my opinion. I'm not saying like Rachel is she is a bit of a bad writer, but it's just, why choose that specifically? You could have just said, yeah, humans will die if you do not let my daughter come back to me. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Not like, oh, I'll use this stupid law that again can be overruled by Hestia and Zeus, because it doesn't, it's not really hospitable to put your guests in a jar and make them feel like shit while everyone's watching. That's not really that. That's the opposite. That's the opposite. Sorry for going into this in a very annoyed manner. I try my best to be reasonable, but this is just ridiculous. I expected a little better for those, like, you know, how this goes, but it really doesn't really give anything back. It's just like, oh, yes, if you don't do that, then you're doomed. Sorry, I'm kind of tired of this. I'm done with this. I don't know what's gonna top this off in the next chapter, because this is bad writing so far. Like, there's no redeeming qualities to this chapter, and the build up to what? There's nothing really there to do anything with. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. I know it wasn't too much. It doesn't make much sense. It really doesn't. I want to try and make it make sense, but it doesn't do it, because, again, like I said, Hestia and Zeus can overrule that statement there, because, again, Hestia witnessed it. Zeus can take Hestia's word, because I don't think Hestia would be lying about such a thing about Demeter. It, like, this stuff writes itself. It doesn't make sense for Demeter to do that and use, like, Xena to get away with that. You basically have to make sure you do, like, it's one thing if, like, if Hades actually stole Persephone, but it's like, she goes accordingly, and it's just like, he didn't steal her, he didn't do, it's not even following the myth anymore. It's just what Rachel's interpretation of this is now. There's no actual anything connected back to the lore. It's just Demeter's the villain, Persephone and Hades are the best, and I just need a drink. I really just need a drink, because, again, it just doesn't work. It's ridiculous. It's poorly written. There's not a lot of, like, you know, actual drama. It's just, what can I do to make this worse? And it does a good job at that. But anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, and if you are new here, please hit that subscribe button. That would mean the world to me. And I do have a coffee jar, like a coffee tip jar, if you'd like to tip me. That would mean a lot. You don't have to. It's a suggestion. I like to point that out. I also do commission videos, and it's only $5 for a commission video. That's a pretty good deal. That is one good deal. I'll talk about anything pop culture related, webtoon related, comic related, as long as it's, like, you know, appropriate or brings an element that we haven't really heard much of to the table. But anyways, guys, I hope you have a nice and safe day, and stay safe, stay cool, and stay hydrated. This is Dazzling Kate signing the hell out of here.